You did everything they told you to do. You studied hard. You got the job. You show up on time and work diligently. You do what you're supposed to do. You put a little money aside from each paycheck, telling yourself that one day it will add up to freedom. You've been playing the game by the rules of fairness and hard work, waiting patiently for your promised reward. And yet, you feel it, don't you? That quiet, creeping suspicion that you're running on a treadmill, that no matter how fast you move, you're not actually getting closer to real power. You watch others, people who don't seem smarter than you, don't work harder than you, pass you with ease. Their lives operate on a different set of principles entirely. Here is the truth you were never meant to hear. You were lied to. The rules you were given were not designed to make you powerful. They were designed to make you useful. They are the shepherd's rules for the sheep, meant to keep the flock obedient, productive, and easy to manage. Not to make any single sheep the master of the pasture. The real rules, the ones that build empires, forge dynasties, and bend the world to one's will, were never taught in classrooms. They were written in the shadows of history by those who understood human nature as it truly is, and no one understood these rules better than Niccolò Machiavelli, the philosopher who dared to write down the secret constitution of power. He taught that a ruler must be more feared than loved, because love is fragile, conditional, and easily withdrawn. But fear is a currency that never loses its value. By the end of this video, the way you see money, power, and your own potential will be permanently shattered. You will understand why your current path, no matter how much you earn, can only ever lead to a more comfortable cage. This is not about getting rich. The merely rich are still prisoners, just with a better view. This is about becoming the architect of the game itself. So forget the comforting lies that kept you obedient and poor. It is time to learn the 5 ruthless money rules of a modern Machiavellian. The truth is a bitter pill, but it is the only cure for a lifetime of mediocrity. Rule number 1. Money is not a reward, it is a weapon. The first lie you must burn from your mind is the belief that money is a reward for labor. That is the peasant's mindset. He works the field, and at the end of the day, he is handed a few coins for his effort. He trades time, his life force, for currency. His income is tied to hours worked, so his ambition is limited to higher wages or longer days. He is a cog, and his thinking never extends beyond the size of his gear. The Machiavellian prince operates on an entirely different plane. To him, money is not a reward, it is a tool, not an end, but a means. Money is not a shield to hide behind, it is a sword to conquer with. Its purpose is not comfort, its purpose is control. Wealth is simply visible power, your ability to influence the board and bend outcomes to your will. The modern Machiavellian does not ask, "How much do I need to earn to be free?" He asks, "How much capital must I command to become sovereign?" Look at the high-earning doctor, the elite lawyer. Often they are nothing more than well-paid servants. Their income is still a reward for direct labor. If they stop working, the money stops. They have purchased a gilded cage, comfortable, luxurious, but still a cage. They master a skill. They do not master the game. The true master of wealth thinks in leverage and systems. He understands that personal labor is the least efficient path to power. Why exhaust yourself when you can command the labor of thousands? Why depend on your own effort when you can build a machine that works while you sleep? This is the core of Machiavellian economics. You must stop being a player in the economy and become the architect of your own micro-empire. The goal is not passive income. That is a diluted fantasy sold to the masses. The real goal is dependence. Consider 2 brothers. The first is brilliant. He becomes a world-class heart surgeon, earning $1 million a year. He buys the mansion, the supercar, the rewards his income allows. The second brother, less academically gifted, starts a small company that manufactures a very specific surgical screw. For 10 years, he earns a fraction of what his brother makes. He lives modestly, drives a used car, but every dollar of profit is reinvested into the system. Better manufacturing, wider distribution, exclusive contracts. Eventually, hospitals find it inefficient to operate without his screws. One day, the brilliant surgeon stands in the operating room, using screws supplied by his brother's company. The surgeon earns money, the brother controls the system. One is a component, the other owns the machine that is power. To apply this rule, you must stop chasing salary and start hunting leverage. A salary is a chain, leverage is a crown. From now on, with every financial decision, ask yourself, is this consumption or conquest? Is this buying a moment of comfort or an inch of territory in my emerging kingdom? Every dollar spent on fleeting luxury is a soldier executed for temporary pleasure. Every dollar invested in your system is a soldier sent forward to expand your empire. If this idea resonates with you, comment weapon. And if you're ready to stop being a pawn and start learning the real rules of power, rule number 2. Abandon sentimental morality. Embrace strategic ruthlessness. The second great filter that separates masters from the masses is the idea of fairness. The average person is crippled by it. They believe in karma. They believe good deeds are always rewarded and bad deeds are always punished. They avoid conflict. They run from difficult decisions. They believe that being a good person will automatically lead to success. That belief is not just wrong, it is a self-imposed prison that guarantees mediocrity. Machiavelli's philosophy is often misunderstood as simple cruelty. That is a shallow, sentimental interpretation. Machiavellian ruthlessness is not about being evil, it is about strategic clarity. It is the cold, unwavering discipline to do what is necessary for the survival and expansion of your kingdom, not what feels comfortable and not what makes you liked. Hesitation, born from misplaced emotion and the need for approval, breeds poverty. Decisive action, free from emotional fog, breeds power. Fortune does not favor the meek. It favors the individual, who can look at reality with cold logic, identify the point of maximum leverage, and act without flinching. While others argue about what's fair, the ruthless are already moving. Consider the classic case of corporate raider Carl Icahn and his takeover of TWA in the 1980s. TWA's management was failing, yet they were framed as the good guys, trying to protect the company from the so-called evil raider. The unions feared another potential buyer, Frank Lorenzo, a man notorious for crushing labor. Icahn, the Machiavellian prince, did not see a moral drama. He saw levers. He ignored sentiment, legacy, and wounded pride. He aligned himself with the terrified unions, convincing them to accept massive pay cuts in exchange for helping him seize control. Once in power, his ruthlessness did not soften. He systematically sold off TWA's most valuable assets, including its prized London routes, to pay down the debt used to acquire the company. It was brutal, it was feared, it gutted the airline, and it made him extraordinarily wealthy. He did not act out of malice. He acted out of strategy. He saw management, unions, and assets not as a family, but as pieces on a chessboard to be moved toward victory. To apply this rule in your own life, you must become a ruthless auditor of your attachments. Where are you being sentimental, an underperforming investment your grandfather gave you? The Machiavellian sells it without hesitation, a business partner who is also a friend, but consistently drags the enterprise down. The Machiavellian ends the partnership with surgical precision, a dead-end career you cling to because you've already invested 10 years of your life. That is the sunk cost fallacy, a poison born of sentiment. The Machiavellian abandons it overnight. This ruthlessness must also be applied to your own mind. When markets panic and everyone sells in fear, the sentimental investor joins the stampede to avoid pain. The Machiavellian sees blood in the streets and recognizes a fire sale. When a bubble forms and the crowd is drunk on greed, The sentimental investor feels FOMO and buys at the top. The Machiavellian recognizes mass delusion for what it is and sells to them. Stop asking whether a financial decision is nice. Start asking whether it is effective. Stop worrying about being liked. Start focusing on being respected. And when necessary, feared. In the world of money, fear is simply deep, unwavering respect for your will. It means people know you are a serious player, someone who does not act on impulse, but on cold, calculated strategy in a whir. LD of financial sheep, the wolf rules. So ask yourself, is this level of ruthlessness necessary for massive success, or is it a line you are unwilling to cross? Comment your thoughts below. Rule number 3. Construct systems of dependence, not streams of income. The average person dreams of a hammock on a beach, money trickling in from a few passive income streams. They dream of escaping the game. This is a tragically small ambition. The modern Machiavellian does not seek to escape the game. He seeks to become the casino. This brings us to the third rule. You do not truly arrive when you learn how to generate income. You arrive when you learn how to construct systems of dependence. Income streams can dry up, assets can fail, but a system that makes you indispensable grants a level of power that mere wealth can never buy. It creates gravity, a force that pulls others into your orbit and keeps them there. Look at the California gold rush. Tens of thousands of men rushed west, risking everything to pan for gold. They were obsessed with the reward, the shiny metal at the bottom of the river. They were playing the game, but the men who built dynastic wealth were not the ones who found the most gold. They were the ones who sold the shovels, the pickaxes, and the work clothes. A Bavarian immigrant named Levi Strauss arrived in San Francisco, not to dig in the river, but to sell supplies. He noticed something simple and profound. Every prospector had the same problem. Their pants kept falling apart. Strauss didn't join the scramble for gold. He built a system to support it. By creating durable, riveted denim jeans, he made himself essential to the entire gold-seeking ecosystem. The miners became dependent on his product just to do their work. Strauss didn't have an income stream. He owned the infrastructure. In every industry, there are 3 layers. The first layer is the workers. They sell their time. The second layer is the business owners. They manage labor and sell products. But the third and most powerful layer belongs to those who provide the tools, the platforms, and the networks that the business owners themselves must use. Aim for the third layer. Instead of opening another coffee shop, can you become the exclusive supplier of a rare, high-demand bean that every cafe in your city depends on? Instead of being another Amazon seller, can you create the essential software that all sellers need to manage inventory and logistics? Instead of being a freelance writer, can you build the platform that freelance writers must use to find clients? This requires a brutal shift in vision. You will spend years building the fortress, while others enjoy quick cash from finding a few gold nuggets. They will mock your patience. But once the fortress is built, you collect a tax on the entire ecosystem. Your power expands. As the industry you control expands, do not settle for a stream of income. When you can own the river, do not fight for a slice of the pie. When you can own the bakery, the ultimate form of power is not having money. It is building a world where others must come to you to make their own. If you understand this shift from income to infrastructure, rule number 4, master the art of financial illusion. In the theater of power, perception is reality. A weak prince who is seen as strong will command more authority than a strong prince who is seen as weak. The same brutal truth applies to wealth. The perception of your financial power is a force multiplier, a weapon as potent as any asset you own. The 4th rule is this: you must master financial illusion. You must control the narrative around your wealth as carefully as you control the wealth itself. The common man, when he eyes a little money, feels an overwhelming urge to display it. He buys the flashy car, the oversized watch, the designer clothes, not out of strategy, but insecurity, a desperate need for validation that he has made it. In doing so, he paints a target on his back. He attracts envy, he invites scrutiny, He signals predators that he is a fat, slow-moving gazelle. He uses his money to buy a spotlight, and spotlights attract insects and hunters. The Machiavellian prince understands something crucial. Displays of wealth are never about ego. They are performances, calculated acts, designed to achieve a specific outcome. Sometimes, the correct move is to project an image of untouchable, almost mythical wealth. This intimidates rivals, attracts high-level allies who only align with proven power, and opens doors forever closed to the modest. Sponsoring a prestigious charity gala or being seen acquiring a significant piece of art is not consumption. It is a political act, a signal to the world that you operate on a level they cannot challenge. But just as often, and far more powerfully, the prince knows when to project absolute modesty. This is stealth wealth, used not defensively, but offensively. By living simply, you move through the world unseen. Your power remains hidden, allowing you to gather information and make decisive moves without resistance. While the loud new millionaire is drowning in lawsuits and surrounded by parasites, the quiet Machiavellian is buying another city block or acquiring a controlling stake in a competitor's company. He is the gray man in the corner who owns the entire building. True mastery is becoming a financial chameleon. When negotiating a massive loan from a bank, you arrive in a chauffeur-driven car, projecting an aura of inevitability, so overwhelming the bank feels foolish not backing you. When acquiring a distress did business from a desperate founder, you arrive in a 10-year-old Honda, complaining about the economy, projecting scarcity, convincing the seller you are their only lifeline. This principle extends even to generosity. The average person gives out of kindness. The Machiavellian gives out of strategy. A precisely timed gift, a lavish bonus to a key employee, an anonymous donation to a politician's favored charity. These are never just gifts. They are investments. They test loyalty, create obligation, build a public image of benevolence that masks your most ruthless private maneuvers. To master this rule, your ego must live in an iron cage. Your satisfaction cannot come from the dopamine hit of luxury. It must come from strategy flawlessly executed. You must constantly ask, what story does my financial presentation tell? Is it the story I am writing, or the one written by my insecurities? Control the narrative. Sometimes, you are the peacock. Magnificent, intimidating, unavoidable. Sometimes, you are the owl. Silent, observant, unseen. But you are never, ever, the parrot, squawking status for all to hear. Think about a moment when perception alone dramatically altered a financial outcome you witnessed or experienced. Rule number 5. Engineer a legacy of power, not an inheritance of wealth. The final rule concerns the ultimate purpose of this entire pursuit: legacy. To the average person, legacy means leaving behind a pile of money for their children so they can live easier lives. It sounds noble, it is tragically naive, and it is precisely why 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation and 90% by the third. The old saying, from shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations, is not folklore. It is a monument to failed sentimental thinking. Machiavelli warned that a state built by a strong prince will collapse if his successors grow weak and complacent. Wealth alone is fragile. It can be taxed, sued, inflated away, or, most commonly, spent into oblivion by fools who did not earn it. A true Machiavellian legacy is not an inheritance of assets. It is an inheritance of power. It is the transmission of capital, yes, but also character, discipline, and most critically, an unbreakable structure. The goal is not to leave your heirs a pile of fish. It is to leave them the skill to fish, ownership of the entire lake, and a system that ensures they never lose either. First, you must forge the character of your successors. The children of the wealthy are often the dynasty's greatest threat. Raised in comfort, They lack the hunger, the grit, and the paranoia required to preserve what was built. The Machiavellian parent understands this. The greatest gift to an heir is not comfort, but controlled adversity. Look to the Rockefellers, one of history's most enduring dynasties. John D. Rockefeller, the richest man of his era, did not drown his children in money. He gave them small allowances, sometimes just 25 cents a week, and required meticulous ledgers, tracking every penny. They earned more through work. They saved a portion. They donated a portion. He was not teaching them to be rich. He was forging their character. He was training princes, not trust fund dependents. Second, you must construct a dynastic structure, immune to the whims of weaker future generations. This is your family's state, and it must be governed by a constitution. A family constitution defines mission, values, and vision, but it is also a Machiavellian contract. It sets the rules of power. It can require heirs to meet strict educational or professional milestones before receiving distributions. It can establish a family council with veto authority, preventing a reckless heir from selling a core asset to fund a frivolous lifestyle. It creates a system that protects the dynasty from its own weakest members. The structure must be stronger than the people inside it. This final rule transforms wealth from a selfish personal pursuit into a multi-generational conquest. Your life's work is not to build a fortune, to be enjoyed and squandered. It is to lay the foundation of an empire that endures. Your name will not merely appear on a building. It will be written into the charter of a self-perpetuating system of power. Stop thinking about retirement. Start thinking about your dynasty. If you are committed to building for generations, not just for yourself, comment dynasty. You now possess the 5 core tenets of Machiavellian wealth. The door out of the prison of conventional thinking is wide open. Most who hear this will feel a flicker of recognition, a brief, uncomfortable truth, and then retreat back into comforting compliance. They will choose to remain pawns because the path of the prince is cold, lonely, and demanding. But a few of you will understand. A few of you will feel the cold, hard logic of these rules settle into your bones. For you, this is not the end of a video. It is the beginning of your reign. If you are one of those few, subscribe and join a legion of thinkers, rewriting the rules of power. And in the comments below, declare which of the 5 rules struck you the hardest. Let the world know a new player has entered the game. Remember, money does not follow fairness. It does not follow hard work. It does not follow virtue. Money, like all power, is a wild beast, drawn to strength, tamed by discipline, commanded by cold, unemotional strategy. The path of the modern Machiavellian demands you see the world not as it should be, but as it is. It requires trading the warmth of being liked for the hardy currency of being respected. But it is the only path to true freedom, not the fragile freedom of the beach hammock, but the ironclad freedom of the throne. The lesson is complete. Now go build your empire in silence.